Hello, and welcome to the forecast for June 9th until June 15th. My name is Desiree de Lunae, your acupuncturist, herbalist, and astrologer, and we are going to present to you a very fabulous week. Really looking forward to some of the changes. We have a couple of major events. One, there is a full moon in Sagittarius happening, and I like the energy of the full moon. And then we also have two major shifts, two major planetary shifts. We've got Mercury that's going into Cancer, and then we have big one, Jupiter that's going into Cancer as well. This is such a good thing. Okay. So Jupiter orbits for 12 years. And so that averages 1 year per sign. And we've had Jupiter in Gemini for the last year. And this week we've got Jupiter in Cancer, and it's going to be there for the next year. So we'll dive into that more deeply as we move into the forecast. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. And please do like, subscribe, hit that bell so that you're notified every time a new video is up each week. Okay, we're going to start off with Monday. Now, we are still in Gemini season. We've got Sun in Gemini, so this brings a lot of lightness and curiosity and exploration. Okay, so we have Sun in Gemini, and so Gemini brings a lot of lightness and curiosity and exploration and just being more social and a bit busier here and there and everywhere. So we do have that energy with us at least for another couple of weeks. Now, we do have Moon in Scorpio. Moon in Scorpio is not its favorite position. Granted, it's the last day that we're going to be having this Moon in Scorpio, then it's going to change into Sagittarius, but it is in its fall position here. So it has a lot of feelings and a lot of extreme feelings, and there's a lot more intensity. There could be I see some restlessness and possibly irritability, explosiveness as well. Very intense, like ragey emotions. So this is one of the reasons why we've got Uranus in opposition to the moon. Uranus brings disruption, chaos, instability. It's the bringer of chaos and change. And it's in a pretty hard conversation with the moon. So that's aggravating an already raw moon in Scorpio. And then we also have a square, a red line between Mars and moon. So this can bring, yes, absolute like passion and ambition and drive and intensity. I mean, this could really be activating our energy bodies as well, giving us energy and bravery and courage and even being more assertive as well. But look, Pluto's even part of this conversation. And with all this together, like Mars, Uranus, Pluto, all talking to the moon in a fall position, this is tender. This is raw. And I will say that there's a lot of like facing things head on. Because look, you even have Saturn in a trine. Saturn in Aries. Okay. I mean, I just see confrontation all the way around. So if somebody pushes your button in just the right way, um, I can see us like exploding essentially. This is very explosive. That's all I'm going to say is that there is a potential for explosiveness and so I recommend a lot of water, a lot of water treatment. We also have Mercury that has transitioned into water on this day as well into Cancer. But like moving water, running water, like a shower versus a bath. I go to Planet Fitness and they have this hydro massage beds. So it's basically water like shooting. Oh, that is such a moon in Scorpio situation. And it's like a massage, but it's the use of water for the massage. So that's a great option if you have that available to you for some reason. But yeah, this is not a super comfortable day for Moon. Moon's going to get into something. Moon here is going to have so much intensity behind it. Like you're not going to just be able to be chill, calm, and relaxed. Like we need to get into something. So you probably want to funnel all of that energy, that intensity into a project or into creating something or designing something or anything, so that you can dispel all of the energy that's coming to the moon. Now, I do like the fact that Mercury is in Cancer. It's going to be here for the next few weeks. And this is a very compassionate sign. Cancer is very loving and kind and nurturing and sweet and empathetic. And so at least like our mind can have some grounding to it. Even with Saturn talking to the moon in this way, we are still can have some level of compassion and objectivity in the background while you are having all of the feels at the same time. But look, I don't anticipate Monday essentially being a calm, chill day. All right. Okay, so then let's talk about Tuesday. Tuesday's a really big day, okay? I'm very happy about this because Jupiter is going into Cancer. And Cancer, actually, let's just do this. We're going to talk about this. So remember I said Jupiter's cycle, it takes 12 years to fully orbit, come to the same position. And so it stays in a sign for about a year. And so Jupiter is going in on June 10th on Tuesday and will stay there until July 1st of 2026. Now, there are positions for planets. There are signs that planets where it's their home. It's their home sign. They're comfortable. They operate really well. They function really well. And there's places they don't function well either. And then there's these positions called exaltation. Jupiter in Cancer is in a position of exaltation. This is like the royal treatment. Okay. That's how I see it. This is going on a fabulous vacation, getting like the 5-star experience. With Jupiter in Cancer, the way that I see this is that the properties of Jupiter become enhanced. It's optimized. I mean, everything that's great about Jupiter is just even more. It's even better. It's a very fertile, rich, abundant placement. So we all get to benefit from this fortune, from this luck. Thank goodness. Thank goodness that there's a place in our lives where we can have some positive things going on, that we have a place where growth and expansion is happening, that abundance and richness is happening. So my question to you is, and comment down below, is what house is Cancer over, this Jupiter Cancer moment that we are all having? What number, what house is it over? And if you don't know how to look that up, I have a link down below in the description that talks about how to look up your birth chart. I do use whole sign houses, and that way you can see what area of your life gets to benefit from this juicy Jupiter in Cancer. So let's just kind of go over some significations of each of these between the planet and the sign, and then we kind of merge them together to get this overall meaning here. So Jupiter is one of the largest planets in our solar system, and so this is about growth and expansion and abundance. Whatever Jupiter touches, it makes bigger, okay? It grows it. This is about having faith and hope and possibility. There's a lot of optimism that comes from Jupiter. And then it's about truth. It's about knowledge, seeking truth, seeking knowledge, expanding the mind. And then we have Cancer here. Cancer is a water sign, and it is very connected to family, to the home. It's nurturing, it's empathetic, it's very compassionate. It also represents our emotions and our intuition. So when we kind of put these two together, right, then what do we get? And these are themes that are impacting all of us. All of us benefit from this. Now, where you're going to experience it more specifically is going to be based on the house that Cancer is over. But here we've got this support that we have for our loved ones, and our loved ones also supporting us. And so there's so much nurturing going on, whether it is your, nuclear family or it's people that feel like family to you. Now, Cancer, as I said, represents emotions. And then, you have knowledge and intelligence that comes from Jupiter. So this is an increase, an expansion in our emotional intelligence. Wouldn't that be great? around the planet, that would be very welcomed, is increase in emotional intelligence. Also, Cancer represents intuition. So this is going to be our intuitive intelligence. Even our clairs, our intuition are going to be strengthened and nurtured. When I say this is a fertile placement, it really is. Just think like where Jupiter in Cancer is, we're adding more minerals to the soil. We're adding moisture to the soil. So there is just this richness in the underneath, okay, that is feeding and growing this area of your life. So overall, we're going to have these feelings of abundance. And as a byproduct, I see us experiencing more internal gratitude and appreciation as a result of feeling all of this growth and abundance. Another aspect is just richness and creativity. Usually water signs, it's connected to emotions, it's connected to intuition, it's also connected to your creativity. So you're going to feel a growth and expansion, right? And an elevation in your creative life, in your creative expression as well. So this yummy goodness is what we all get to benefit from. Okay, so that happens. Let me go back actually on Tuesday, where Jupiter comes in here. And now there are some other things happening too. Jupiter is conjunct Mercury. It's very close to Mercury, just a few degrees away on this day. So it gets invited in, and it's like Mercury gets to welcome it in. And Mercury is the mind, it's how we think. And with Jupiter and Mercury together in Cancer, my gosh, I mean, just like our thinking is just so expansive. Our thinking is abundant, and we see hope, we see possibilities. We're actually able to plan and see, the details, because Mercury deals with details, okay? Like the actual details of the vision, of the dream, because Jupiter does represent our dreams and our hopes and our visions and our wishes. And so here we have Mercury that is in sync with Jupiter on this. Okay, I feel you, I see you. And then here's all of the details, or how we're going to, practically play this out. How are we going to play this out? Now, we do have some squares here. This Jupiter Saturn square is going to be around for a while, all week and for some weeks ahead. And so this means there is a lot of reality checks. There's a lot of groundedness. Like this Jupiter in Cancer moment that we're having, it is not just going to be up here. It's not just some ethereal thing. It is going to materialize. And that's the beauty of Saturn in this conversation. Even though it's kind of like, hey, reality check, like it is going to help with the materialization of this. And it's also in square to Mercury too. So checks and balances. Hey, we're not going to get out of hand. We're not going to be delusional. That's what I like about this. And even Saturn is checking Neptune here. We can have all these grand ideas, right? It's like going exploring the unknown, the new world. There's parts that we don't know, but we can be well equipped. We can be prepared as much as we can. And that's what Saturn does. We're going to have our armor. We're going to have our stores of food for this long travel. We're going to be prepared for this. And we're going to be very strategic and grounded as we get little bits of information. Okay, now how do we deal with this? How do we shift? How do we pivot? How do we change it? Okay, how do we make sure that, that dream that we have is still coming in, that we are serving that dream. All right. But as we get closer and closer to it, sometimes we have to change our strategies and pivot to ensure that we get there. And maybe the plan's going to be a little longer than we thought. Okay. That's very possible, because the Saturn is in a 30-year cycle. It's the beginning of a 30-year cycle. So there's a lot of patience that Saturn is giving to Jupiter and to Mercury here in Cancer. Like, you've got to be patient. You got to be realistic. And let's make sure this happens. Let's make sure your dream does come true. So you love learning about astrology and cosmic energies. But what about your personal natal chart? Are you confused by it? Would you like more than just general guidance? If you are ready to understand your planets, your signs, your houses, and aspects, then you're in the right place because I am about to teach a new course called Language of the Stars. This is my 6-week foundational astrology course. You are going to go from being confused, maybe even overwhelmed by all of the information, to speaking fluently in this cosmic language. How great is it going to be able to read your own cosmic blueprint with confidence? In this course, we are going to give you knowledge that is step by step, that is layered so that we tie it all together and you are looking at your chart and understanding what the heck is going on. Plus, you are going to get lifetime access to all of the materials, the PDFs, the recordings, so that you can revisit and relearn, rewatch again and again until you fully understand what's happening. It took me years to understand this language. It is so easy to get lost in all the jargon. And after a while, I started to get it. And I'm kind of a slow learner. It literally took me a few years for it to finally click. But once it clicked, the whole world just opened up to me. And I had access to this language that gave words to a lot of the sensations and experiences that I feel as an empath. And that's why I designed Language of the Stars, to make it easy for you to understand. Shave down years of frustration and agony trying to understand what is happening. That's something I'm great at, is teaching things in a very digestible way and layering it so that it is making sense to you quite quickly. Please don't go through what I went through. The hair pulling, irritation that I went through to get this language. If you often find yourself trying to learn, but really don't know where to begin and how to put it all together, then that's what I'm here for. That is something that I am pretty good at, is teaching very complex things in a simple, digestible manner and making it very practical. You're going to be learning the basics, and we're going to build this information step by step. So you will go from being utterly confused to very clear and confident. You'll understand forecasts. When someone gives you a forecast for the week, for the month, for the year, you'll be able to follow along. You'll know what they're talking about. We are going to build your astrology skills systematically, and you're going to walk away feeling comfortable having these types of conversations. And when you are learning in the future more about astrology, you'll be able to follow along some of the more challenging concepts. Come join me for Language of the Stars, your foundational course, and build that fluency. There's a link down below. I look forward to being with you and teaching you and serving you and guiding you along this path of cosmic understanding. Now, on Tuesday, or no, is it Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday. We also have a full moon in Sagittarius that is happening. So that is so much illumination. Actually, let me just see on Wednesday. Okay, never mind. It's on Wednesday. We're going to switch over to Wednesday. Wednesday's a big deal. We have a full moon in Sagittarius. It may be happening in the middle of the night, actually, like the evening of Tuesday and Wednesday. But this full moon in Sagittarius, it's full illumination of that vision and of that dream. And we're able to see things both from the higher perspective with moon in Sagittarius, because that's the eagle eye view, right? But then the sun in Gemini sees all of the details, the nitty gritty details. And so we're kind of merging both of that together, both of those energies together. And we are able to come at it from this bigger view and also through the fine details. Not one is more important than the other. We're integrating both, which then further adds to, the possibility for success for this vision, for this dream. And you're just going to feel very liberated. That's the thing with Sagittarius energy and full moon in Sagittarius. Like you're going to feel this one, excitement and thrill for what is happening and what is to come, but there is just freedom that you get as well, and freedom from living more aligned than you ever have. So it's very inspirational. It is this is a feel good full moon. Enjoy it. I really like it. It even has a nice trine. Mars has a nice trine to the moon, which then brings more courage, more boldness, more assertiveness. I mean, there isn't a shyness around what you are intentionally putting forth out in this world, in this life right now, in this season of your life. You're coming at it with excitement and passion and focus too, and drive and boldness and courage. What I also like about this, we're going to talk about it in another time too, but like here's Saturn. Saturn is also squaring the moon here, and that does bring some maturity here and some wisdom, maybe some truths we might not like, but it's there. Okay, so let's continue on to Thursday. Thursday, moon has a shift. Thursday goes into Capricorn, and on this day, we have some opposition. We have an opposition to Mercury. We have a trine to Venus. Okay. And we also have a square to the Saturn and Neptune. This is my summary for Thursday. Thursday is actually, by the way, it's the beginning of my course called Language of the Stars. If you haven't heard it, I recommend joining. We'll have the link down below. So I am teaching a 6-week series of the language of the stars, the language of astrology, and really teaching you the basics, the fundamentals, the planets, the signs, the houses, the aspects, and how to weave this all together so that you can really dissect your chart and get to know yourself on a whole nother level. Let me tell you, that birth chart, it's a living, breathing document, and it will reveal to you new things every time you look at it. I still see things in my chart today after looking at it for years, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I not see that before? It is incredible. It's an incredible experience to really understand yourself and also understanding transits and how it impacts your chart. So if you want to understand what I'm saying in these forecasts better, which will really, really empower you as an empath as you get to know and familiarize yourself with these energies, the language of these energies. Oh, this is where you feel more peace at the unfolding of your life, the unfolding of time. There is more grace. There is more acceptance. There is you taking advantage of fortuitous moments in time and seasons of your life. This is one of the basic skill sets I feel that an empath should have, is understanding the energetic weather patterns that we are all affected by and that we are all living in. It just helps you to make sense of things rather than just swimming in the unknown of like, what's wrong with me? What's going on? Why am I feeling this? Why is this happening? No, it's so nice to have those answers. This is why. This is why. So check out Language of the Stars down below. All right, so June 12th. This is a very interesting day. Now, we have Moon in Capricorn, and Moon in Capricorn has like a serious tone. It's an earth sign. It's not very emotional, actually. It is here to take care of business. It is here to take care of responsibilities. Emotions aren't really a factor here. This is what needs to get done, and this is what we're going to do. Just matter of fact, and that's just how it is. It does have a nice trine to Venus. And so with this, and Venus is in its home sign in Taurus, so this is a very good placement for Venus. And the way that I see this is the communication that you have with people in your life, whether it's in a home environment or at a work environment, it's just in sync. you guys are just jiving together. If you've got a business partner, I mean, I just see flowiness. And look, Mercury is in Cancer. Yeah, it's got an opposition, but Mercury is in Cancer, which is a very feminine yin sign. And there is like creative thinking happening too, and intuitive thinking as well. And this Mercury is a nice sextile to Venus. And so even the conversations, right, that you're, the ideas that you're exchanging, the problem solving that you're doing, it's so smooth, it's so fluid, it's so flowy. I mean, I just think of like two dance partners who are just in sync, on time, and they're really like reading each other very well. I've done a lot of dancing in my past with West Coast swing and salsa, and you're just, oh, you're just in harmony with one another. Especially when you do social dancing, it's not choreographed. So you got to be in sync with the music, and you got to be in sync with your partner. And when all of that is lined up, it is magic. And that's how I see this whole experience of interacting with people on this day. Like I said, whether it's, you know, in a home environment, friend environment, work environment, whatever environment, like this, the communication is going to be fluid and productive and real, right? Like from the heart, and it's going to be substantial. So that's probably why I chose this day to start Language of the Stars. And we do have some checks and balances too. You know, we've got the Saturn and Neptune that is in square with the moon here. And this is going to bring again that stability, that emotional maturity. This is like dealing with facing the facts, dealing with truth. And with moon in Cancer and Saturn rules, I'm sorry, with moon in Capricorn and Saturn rules Capricorn, this is very stabilizing. This is, even though there's a bit of a square, like it's super, super grounded. So I love this mixture because it's also opposite Jupiter and Mercury in Cancer, that is very dreamy and very hopeful. So there is a beautiful blending of the dreams and the wishes and the creativity and the intuition, as well as that, you know, embodiment and practicality and strategy. Like, it's a marriage of both. I feel like it's like the best of both worlds. So lovely, lovely, fruitful day. That's how I would say it is. Fruitful day in your interactions with people. That is my sense of Thursday. Now, Friday is a pretty, like, we still have moon that is in Capricorn. It doesn't have any aspects to any planet, so it's pretty calm and chill. I find this just to be a calm, chill, nice day. Let's just go with that. I don't really have much, you know, craziness to offer for Friday. Now, Saturday. On Saturday, we have moon that has transitioned into Aquarius, but now it's touching Pluto. Now, Aquarius by nature is also kind of like Capricorn because they're both ruled by Saturn, not necessarily like very emotional. They more so intellectualize their feelings than anything. So there is a more objective point of view to a certain degree. But you remember, since Pluto's in Aquarius, every time moon crosses Aquarius, it's touching Pluto. And Pluto is not objective, okay? No. Pluto is very intense, extremes actually. It makes the small big and the big small. Okay. It does surface the hidden. And I think of Saturday and even Sunday, you'll see in Sunday, this is a we're really real today, okay? It is very truthful. It is touching on things that we haven't been able to access before. So maybe hidden feelings, hidden wounds coming to the surface, and we're going to feel it. But, you know, at the same time, like, we're going to experience so much transformation. We have a trine to Uranus. This brings evolution, change, transformation. And same with Pluto. This is healing through the pain. This is healing through the pain and the suffering. And then it has these sextiles to Saturn and Neptune. And they're all in Aries. So you know how I see this? We're going in like head first. straight into it. There is no like, going around in circles, no avoiding. There's no avoiding happening on Saturday. We're dealing with it just full frontal. Okay. So I like that we are going to be very mature about this because look, there is a mini trine, mini T square, not T square, a mini grand trine. My apologies. Mini grand trine. You see this blue little triangle between Moon, Pluto, Uranus, and then the Saturn, Neptune. And Neptune is also very transcendent too. It's very spiritual. So I see a lot of like spiritual healing that is happening here, growth and evolution. This is not going to be as gut wrenching as if there were a bunch of squares and oppositions. So I think it's going to be as smooth as we possibly can experience it, but it's going to be very effective and it's going to be transformational. There's going to be a lot of internal change here. And this is also adding to this conversation to our new like hopes and dreams and goals and ambitions that we have for this next like several years of our life. And there's some emotional healing that we're doing around this. One of the ways I could see this is like if you felt defeated in the past about your legacy, your contributions, your ambitions, your goals in life, this is healing that defeatedness, that so that you don't carry that forward in the next 30-year cycle of Saturn. You're not carrying that forward. You are releasing, purging. That's the thing with Pluto. It's purgative. It is detoxing. It's purifying. It's releasing and letting go of that sense of defeat and hopelessness, because we're coming into so much hope and faith and optimism from Jupiter and Cancer, and we're purging all of that so that, oh wow, I'm dropping things. We're purging all of that so that we can come into this new cycle fresh, new, invigorated, and have a resolve and feeling powerful and feeling certain and confident in how we're stepping forward, that we're not backing down. This Saturn in Aries, we're not backing down. We're charging forward with faith, confidence, resolve, and power, and groundedness and centeredness. We're not going to be blown over easily like maybe we were in the past. So this is a very powerful configuration, and we're going to feel it even into Sunday. The moon, the intensity of it might be a little bit less because moon is separating from that Pluto, but that Pluto, Uranus, Neptune, Saturn, trine, the mini grand trine is still present. It's going to be present for a while because these planets don't move so well. But like when moon was hitting it right here on Saturday, you're really like internalizing it. You're really feeling that in your body because the moon represents the body and our emotions. So you're emotionally feeling it. You're physically feeling it. You're feeling this power just circulating through your veins here. Oh, it's so invigorating. It is so enlivening. I really love Saturday a lot. And then, like I said, Sunday, you're essentially getting a continuation of that. Okay. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this forecast. Please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell so you're notified every time a new video is up. And then join me for Language of the Stars. I promise you, you won't regret it. It's going to be a language worth learning, especially as someone who is a hypersensitive, as an empath. This is just basics of that language. Elemental medicine, that's just basics. You got to understand the nature of energy. And when you have more conscientiousness about these energies, you can work with them better. You become intimate with them. You know how to move with them. You know how to move through them. So join me with Language of the Stars. I look forward to seeing you there and also next week in future forecasts. Thank you so much.